Hello, and welcome to what could be an intriguing Golf GTD episode. As you may already know, I've been very happily driving around in my GTD for a few years now, but recently I've been curious about a question that has been posed a few times recently about oil burn. It's a question that seems to crop up in relation to VW diesel engines and has also been asked in the comments via some of my videos, especially the 8-year review video, which I will leave a link to below in case you haven't seen it. These are the sort of questions I've been asked. Does your GTD burn oil? Wondering if you have had excessive oil usage. One comment gave a bit more information saying, engine still feels very strong and has been very reliable, but it burns a lot of oil in mine, probably about 2 litres every 10k kilometres, which is about 6,200 miles. The question, does your GTD burn oil? It's quite a subjective one and something I've never really thought about, if I'm honest. But after replying to some of the comments on the subject, I thought maybe I should look into this a bit more deeply and actually find out if my car does burn oil, and if so, how much. And then I will compare my oil consumption against what Volkswagen say should be expected. So I have put this video together to do just that. I thought that the best way to do this is to do the test based on my actual usage since my last service and see how it goes. Let me know what you think of the results, which I will share with you in a minute. It's pretty much accepted that most engines will consume oil between services. It's just a case of how much is too much. Older cars in the past probably consume more oil than a modern engine would, as it is likely to have been built with better tolerances. But even with most newer engines, I think you should still expect an element of oil consumption. My gut feeling here is that my GTD has been kind to me on the oil front. So far, at least. But let's check for sure, shall we, and see how we get on. As I mentioned before, let's look back to when I last had my car serviced and at what mileage, and then see where the oil is sitting today, which at the time of filming is 17 weeks later, or approximately 4 months since servicing. So, here's a service book, and as you can see, I had my car serviced on the 29th of July 2023 at 68,645 miles by a Volkswagen dealer. I've now got 71,359 miles on the clock, so I've done 2,714 miles in 4 months. We will have to assume that when VW serviced my car the oil level was spot on, which it should have been. I have a fairly mixed driving pattern, in that my usual journeys are around towns and villages, with a mixture of 2 to 4 30-minute drives a week, and the odd hour and a half each way run every month. I also went on a 500-mile round trip a few months back, so quite a good mixture of driving since the last service. So the big question is, does my car burn oil? And if so, how much? Let's find out. It's interesting that the old adage of checking the oil level when the engine is cold is not the case here. My user manual recommends to check the oil when the car is at operating temperature. Anyway, I've got a 1 litre bottle of long life oil here to the correct VW recommended spec. Let's see how much, if any, will be required for a top up after 2,700 odd miles. I have topped up in the past, so I would have thought some oil will be needed. It's a bit tricky to keep the wobbling dipstick in focus, as you can see, but I'll do my best. So, looking at the dipstick, it all looks good in as far as that the oil level is sitting in an acceptable area. But it would be nice to get it back up to the line, so let's do that and see how much oil I will end up using. It's easy to overfill, so I would rather take my time with this and wait a few minutes in between topping up. And you may have noticed, I should be more careful with the oil dripping outside the funnel. Guess I'll clean that up later. Getting there. Okay, that looks close enough. So rather than risk overfilling, I think I will leave it there. Looking at the bottle, I would estimate there is about 600 ml left. So I've just topped up with approximately 400 ml of oil. I believe the Golf GTD takes 4.3 litres of oil, so that's about 9.5% of oil burnt over approximately 2,700 miles and 4 months. Drilling down a bit more, it looks like I'm potentially using about 150 ml per 1,000 miles in this car, which means that if I'm going to keep it topped up to the full line, I'm going to need around 1 litre roughly every 6,700 miles or so, which for me is about 9 or 10 months of motoring. What do you think? How does your Golf compare if you have one? So, is this excessive or about right over 2,700 miles and 4 months since my last service? Let's see what Volkswagen say. Take a look at this, taken from my user manual. The vehicle may consume up to 1 litre of engine oil per 2,000 kilometres, depending on how you drive and the conditions in which the car is used. It's 1 litre per 1,242 miles. So going by this statement, I'm doing pretty well, I reckon. As far as oil burn in my GTD is concerned, I don't think it's too bad, and it's not something I'm concerned about. So now I'm topped up to the full line, I'll be interested to see where the oil level will be in another 2,700 miles. This way I'll be able to see if this is a consistent amount of oil consumption or not. I will be happy to do a quick update on this in a few months if anyone would like me to. Just let me know. By the way, I have more videos planned about my GTD, and if there is anything in particular you would like me to cover, please let me know in the comments. It's such a great all-rounder, and I'm also hoping that these videos will be useful for anyone looking to buy a Mk7 Golf, or for anyone who is just curious and loves to watch videos about golfs. I hope this video has been useful to you, and if so, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you. And until the next time, it's a goodbye from us.